I cannot believe that Simone came to Egypt and I got her to do all of my favorite things. Luckily, she liked them too. We went to Diana Market and found these flip clocks Simone mentioned before, and they were all not working, so we did another of my favorite things, taking things apart. We examined how it worked and started thinking, what could we do with this flipping mechanism? Simone is now in her workshop working on her version of this, and I think I know what I want to do. I know I wanted to have a function, and recently I've been trying to remove a lot of apps on my phone with real objects in life, and a timer is one of them. I do a lot of practices where I use the timer, and when it's on my phone, I get super distracted and I can't really disconnect. So I was thinking, if I would turn the hours into minutes, then I would have a 24-minute timer. And this seems like a really good amount of time to disconnect. And maybe for the second drum, I could squeeze in an animation after all. And there's something that I really wanted to do, is to turn my CT scans into a physical flipbook. I actually never knew that the CT scans are produced as a video. In animation is like the strata cut technique, but of your insides. In Egypt, they give you the prints, the videos on a CD. No one opens a CD anymore. So I never saw it in my life, but when I did it manually, it looked super cool, and I wanted to have it as a physical object that I could look at all the time. I think a chest animation would pair really well with this. Now, I need to figure out how to do all of this. The other one was pretty small to show the animation, but I did find a bigger one at the market. It was in a very bad condition and most of the parts except the motor are ruined. This thing is super well designed by an Italian company called Solari that actually started the whole flipboard thing, and they made clocks a long time ago. Sadly, the flaps, the gear, and some of the metal parts are ruined inside, but I did fall in love with the time mechanism, and I went into a rabbit hole of how mechanical clocks work because of this thing. Look at it. And now I want to be a clockmaker. I thought I can figure out a way to hack the solenoids somehow first. I found more clocks, and then I started thinking maybe I can hack the gear train. I thought I could turn the hours to minutes somehow like this. Turns out I can't understand all of engineering and physics and mechanics in just a few days. So after a week, logic had to step in and pull my eager brain from another new deep fascination and reroute the whole direction into something more doable. It made more sense to just hack an existing timer to the mechanism and not destroy the motor of the original clock. And it happens that I had an old air fryer with a 30-minute timer. A friend had one that wasn't working and gave it to me, and the day has finally come to salvage some of its parts. I wasn't expecting the motor to look like this at all, and it is so beautiful. I thought for the 24 minutes I can just put a stopper to only set the time to 24 minutes. And for the animation, I calculated the frame rate I wanted. Since I had 60 frames in this drum, then I need to turn this 12 times faster than the minutes drum. And again, my brain slipped into thinking I can hack the existing gear train to also move the drum with the animation. I was super fascinated by how all this moves with zero electric power. I really didn't want to hook a motor to it. I took a break from my indecision on how to power this and focused on the flaps instead. I fabricated the scans again, printed them on stencil paper, backed it with white sticker. I replicated the exact flap in the clock and laser cut it out. Just look at this dude. I had a long argument with him to just tape it down, but he kept showing off how skilled he was around the laser. I even tried saying that I wasn't worried about his hand, but the paper moving, but in no vein. So in an attempt to keep my cortisol levels low, I let his testosterone win. Next, I started to work on the weirdest puzzle in my life, pairing all the right layers of my lengths together because I forgot to number them. Then I had to glue the right halves back to back so they can play when they turn. And of course they weren't identical because they moved during the laser cutting, so I had to manually trim each one. It's so hard to get them to flap the right way because if they are just a teeny bit wide, they won't turn, and if it's too narrow, just a tiny bit, they would move and fly off when they turn. And as for the timer numbers, I tried fixing some of them, but it didn't work, they shrunk. So I found some old packaging material that was perfect for this. I laser cut a few to replace the destroyed numbers, then tried painting them, but it was taking too long and it didn't look that good. So instead it was better to print, cut, and stick them on. I still couldn't make a decision about how to power this until Simone showed me what she made for me. It was so sweet of her. It's always nice to have someone think of you, and on top of that, build something that you wanted, something I appreciate so much. Maybe I could gift her my build too. It's gonna be a really nice memory of our time together. Then I remembered this.
I give up for the next 20 minutes or so.
I was already making a 24-minute timer, so maybe this can be a temporarily giving up timer. I'll set this to 20 minutes instead, which seems like the ideal temporarily giving up time for Simone. Logic stepped in again much faster this time and convinced my brain to connect the motor to the timer switch, and that making a doable version of my ideas is better than getting lost in the details of the best version of this idea and refinishing it. I really wanted to finish this build and send it to Simone. So I went on to find the right motor and resistor in my stash to slow it down. And instead of calculating any speeds or RPMs or weights and diameters and all of this, I just went for lots and lots of trial and error coupled with some basic knowledge. And eventually it all worked. I can't believe that I have something that kind of works. I realized too late that the numbers didn't really match the timer and that it flips every 1.5 minutes because the timer dial itself doesn't make a full 360 rotation to set it to 30 minutes. But instead of 3D printing another drum to match the timer intervals, I decided to opt out from any other human interaction in this project and represent time in another way. Besides, we don't really need numbers to tell time, so this should work too. After all, time is just for rhyme and reason. Reason and rhyme. If you know this, then I know you watched the video till the end. And here it is. But I need to show this to Simone first.
That's great. I was thinking I was already making a timer and it was 24 minutes. So I thought, I could turn it into 20 minutes and send it to you. And then also you kind of have a photo of me in your house. Yeah. not the outside me, but still,
Right.
It counts.
Since this is meant to move in one direction, there's a few things to do to set it up. Open this. set the timer, put it back. That's it. I want you to hear the ding. Yes. A huge thank you to my patrons who still support me all these years. I really can't believe you've been with me all this long. This is the first video I post in 6 years on YouTube, and it made this project filled with some anxiety, but I've made it. And I guess I should tell you to subscribe now. I do have commitment issues, but also Simone taught me that I can temporarily commit to things. So if you want to, you can temporarily subscribe as well. See you in the next one.